Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. All right, I'm going to make this one a little bit short, but I wanted to cover two different subjects, unemployment and Evergrande. Now, these are not related to each other, um, but all right, so let's start off with unemployment. All right, we're told we're in a recovery. As of Labor Day, the federal supplemental unemployment ended. So that's been 2 weeks ago. So you would expect to see the unemployment rate drop as people are forced into taking low wage jobs. Well, let's take a quick look at the numbers. Okay, so unemployment. All right, in the week ending September 11th, the advanced figure for seasonally adjusted initial claims was 332,000 initial claims, an increase of 20,000 from the previous week's revised level. The previous week's level was revised up by 2,000. All right? So let's go down here and look back a little bit. August 28th, from August 21st to August 28th, the 11,927 to 12,000. Okay, 11 million. We went up. That's an increase of what, 200,000? Something. All right, I'm not going to do the math. But that is an increase from August 21st to August 28th. And then we have an increase from, and the most recent week reporting. So, yeah. We're seeing an increase in unemployment while companies can't find workers and all this stuff. Well, how are these unemployment claims happening? I mean, even to be eligible for unemployment, you have to be laid off or, fired for, some reason. Now, these are claims. Not all of them will be approved. And if you're looking for a job, a lot of states require you to file for unemployment, even if you're not eligible. I've been there. But let's go and take a look at another number, the labor participation rate, which is reported by month. So let's go back here. Civilian labor force participation rate. August of 2021, 61.7%. That means 38.3% of Americans that are of the specific age range to be counted in the labor participation rate and not disabled, because those people are subtracted from this number. So 38.3% of Americans that are eligible for employment are choosing not to seek a job. I want you to look at this trend over the last 20 years. Look at this from 2002. It was 66.5%. February 2002, 66.8. So that's the highest in the last 20 years. So it's trending down, trending down, trending down. More and more Americans are making the choice to not seek employment. All right, so with the unemployment claims, we are now coming into the holiday season. Now, the number of jobs available and the unemployment rate are completely unrelated. They're not calculated in tandem with one another. So, more jobs available. We were already having what's deemed a worker shortage. There is no worker shortage. There is a shortage of people that are willing to be exploited for low wages, to be treated like garbage, to often be placed in some form of danger, COVID or what have you. The dangerous, conditions and restaurants or anything. They're just choosing to not seek employment, but more and more people applying for unemployment, but the labor participation rate is 61.7%. So either you've got people looking at you trying to get unemployment, or they're just not seeking employment. What is this going to do? As it is, even for the coming holiday season, with the disruptions in the supply chain, employers are going to be hiring less. Basically, if you don't have stuff in your warehouse to sell for the holiday season at this point, your holiday season is pretty much screwed, because it's taking 2 months to even get, products from overseas. You've got, over 40 ships sitting off the coast of California waiting to be offloaded right now. You've got containers that are sitting on the docks for weeks after they're offloaded. You've got a shortage of truck drivers in the country, and most of those are being taken up by essential products, food and so forth. So, yeah, the shelves are going to be pretty sparse for the holiday season, which means fewer jobs. If you don't have products to sell, why are you going to hire more people to sell them? All right. So Evergrande, this is the Chinese company that people are claiming is going to be the next Lehman Brothers. Here's what you need to understand. This is not going to be the next Lehman Brothers. Evergrande was forced into the conditions that they are in right now by the Chinese Communist Party. Okay? Because the Chinese Communist Party wants to divert more of the funding toward the well-being of the Chinese people. The other thing to understand is that while Evergrande is in debt, who are they in debt to? Primarily, they are in debt to Chinese banks. Chinese banks are primarily state-owned. So Evergrande owes money, a Chinese company owes money to the Chinese government. If this company starts to collapse, the Chinese government is going to step in and either nationalize it or at least have government oversight to prevent an actual collapse. Their economy does not function like Wall Street does. So, yeah, It's like if you owe money to, someone else living in your house. Well, you may have to pay out that money, but the money stays in the house. It doesn't leave. There's no debt outside of the house. They're not going to have to pay out, all of their debts to an American company or to the IMF or the World Bank. They're not going to wind up with austerity measures imposed on the country because of Evergrande's debt. It's not going to happen that way. So if Evergrande's stock collapses, that doesn't mean anything as far as debt is concerned, because they don't owe the stockholders. Stock speculation is gambling. You're risking your money. If you own Evergrande stock and their stock collapses, you just lose your money. It's just gone. That's it. So outside investors may lose money, but that doesn't mean that Evergrande, actually collapses or anything like that. That does not add to their debt. Now, bonds, there is the possibility that, they can default on bonds. Well, then you have to look at who owns the bonds. Well, outside bondholders, they can lose their money. But if the Chinese government owns the bonds, well, again, the money stays in the country. Who is the debt owed to? It's owed to China. It's a Chinese company that owes China. So it doesn't happen in China like it happens here. So there may well be some financial fallout to people outside China. Maybe some investors, mostly wealthy investors in China. But for the most part, the Chinese government doesn't give a shit about the wealthy investors. They care about the people. I mean, understand the Chinese Congress has got 3,000 members in their Congress. And so it's not like us. Campaign donations are not allowed. Campaigns are funded by the government. Lobbying is a criminal activity, and the Chinese actually put people in prison for, their own politicians. They will imprison their own politicians for engaging in lobbying. They consider it corruption. They consider it bribery. They do what we should be doing. So I don't worry about Evergrande, although I would freaking check and see if you have an investment account, then a 401k or something, I'd find out if they're invested in Evergrande. Otherwise, I don't see where the problem is. Now, some of our own banks may be invested in Evergrande. So, we might see fallout from that. So I do expect to see some domestic effects from this. But as far as claiming that, again, we keep on hearing, I've been hearing people saying that the Chinese economy was going to collapse at least since 2019. over and over and over. They said that the Chinese economy was going to collapse all last year, and it didn't happen. So, no, this is not the next Lehman. It's not. So just stop listening to the Wall Street, talking heads that are trying to get you to, pull your money out of here or there and invest in them, because that's what they're really trying to do. But most of them have been exposed to risk because they invested in Evergrande. And Evergrande is labeled as a real estate company, but they have their hands in a whole lot of other stuff. So anyway, share this video. Talk about these subjects. I'm still going to be watching the unemployment rate over the next few months. So be sure and tune in. And so again, share these videos. Talk about these subjects if you can. Please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. I'll catch you in the next one.